All right, and thanks to my sisters. That kind of gives me chills every time I listen.
Great
to her
job
sing
all
that.
the time. Love it.
She got one heck of a voice on her. God bless her, that's for sure. And yeah, when we got dinged early on, Lori, we had to come up with something new, so that's what I went with. But
good choice. I tell you what, though, I'm that girl who gets verklempt every time I hear that song. So I'm over here going, okay, don't be crying, don't be crying.
So, well, Lori, before we get going here, we start the show every time like this, and I know we talked about it, and I would love it if you do the Second Amendment for us.
I am so honored. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
Amen to that, and it gets more true every day to me, every single day. So, before we get started here, I'd like to introduce. We have Lori Hinz. She is the North Dakota RNC Committeewoman, not the chairman. So many people always mistake that, but she does a fantastic job. And if you guys don't know how I met Lori, I was with District 31 at one time. Oh no, we lost her. Bring her back.
I did not go anywhere.
I got you. But Lori was running for the National Committeewoman.
Something popped up on my screen that came from y'all, and so I was like, get rid of that. So sorry.
Well, and here's the thing. I wasn't quite sure even what the position was, but I was kind of new to the District 31 stuff. So as I do, I picked up my phone and I said, hey, this is Clay Peterson. How you doing? Do you remember that, Lori?
I do. And I kind of love that when that happens, because when you can teach people kind of about what's going on in the party, that is the start to really big, fantastic things. So it was all good.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of guy that it's almost like an interview when I'm talking to somebody on that kind of issue. You passed with flying colors, so we were good.
Well, and I appreciate when people vet me, because if you're going to vote for somebody, you should literally know where they stand. You should. I'm just a big believer that, ask some questions, find out where they stand on, God, guns, country, where they stand on faith, family, freedom, where they stand on all of the important things in life. And once you get that nailed down, then all the rest is gravy.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And like I said, that's how we met. That's how I got involved. Now the rest is history, as one would say. And I can't think of a better national committee woman we have. We got a great team right now. We have you, and then we have Steve Nagel over there on the other side as our committeeman. And I'm telling you, I just think that's just a great team myself. So
thank you. I am thrilled. To work with those two amazing gentlemen, and we are really pleased. And okay, so when you get onto the RNC, and there's 168 of you, so there's there's 50 states, but there's also 6 U.S. territories. Each
Right.
one of those gets the 3 people, right? So it is rare to have a team that is cohesive and works together. There's always like 2 on 1, or there's 3 separate where they don't get along very well because they're from different factions. But we have a rock star lineup. I mean, Matthew Simon, our new chairman, has been absolutely
awesome guy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He actually spoke yesterday at the GNDC and crushed it.
I seen that. Yeah, I seen that, and that isn't exactly a friendly,
Right.
group of people to us. So yeah,
I don't know why it shouldn't be, but he actually, the speech that guy gave, I thought was so sweeping and uniting. It was something that you couldn't really find anything to disagree with, and I just thought his delivery was terrific. I thought he did a great job.
We have Matt on right after he was elected there, so we had a great show with him on. So, hey, Laura, you said you haven't watched one. You can go back and watch or listen to that on the podcast.
Will do.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm telling you, Matthew he's a very, very intelligent man. I've known Matthew for a very, very long time. In fact, one of the state conventions, I was like, I'm not going to get a motel room for this. So I called Matthew up. He said, yeah, hang out at my place. So that's where I stayed during the convention.
Love it. I met Matthew through Rick Becker, and we were doing a television show called No Apologies on Beck at a talk show.
Yeah, I remember that one.
He had Matthew on in his persona of WTF, and it was absolutely hysterical, super funny, made me laugh. And then when I found out the guy's intellect, I was like, okay, we're going to be friends now. You are so brilliant. I adore him.
He is.
Day 153. Yes, I remember seeing him on. In fact, he's the guy I contacted when I was trying to get on Rumble at first. Because it's a little complicated, and it was at first. But yeah, Matthew's a great guy. He's very smart. I found out him and I have read a lot of the same books, and just getting to know him. He's like, oh, I would have never guessed that about you. I said, well, kind of the same thing here. I wouldn't have guessed that either. So Matthew's a great guy. He truly is.
Yeah,
and he's a good chairman. And we're going to get in a little of that stuff here. But first, why don't you? I imagine, Jamie, unless you've got some questions.
Nope, I'm ready to listen.
But a lot of people don't even know that we have a national committee woman and a national committee man. Why don't you just tell everybody what you do?
So each state and U.S. territory, as I mentioned, each gets 3 people: a national committee man, a national committee woman, and a state party chairman, either a man or a woman. Those are the only 2 choices. And I say that because some other parties might think that there would be some other options. But the Republican Party, it'd have to be either a man or a woman. So we have, we call ourselves the 168. We have meetings 2 times a year, and then we have a third meeting that is a kind of a training meeting, usually in the spring. So we have a.
I mean,
okay. I'll bring her.
Curiously, 168.
Okay?
Curiously, 168 is a great grain for a 308. But go ahead.
Yeah. So the 168 people, we get together and we have these meetings. We do things like resolutions. We do things like the whole organization that does the whole convention for the national convention. We're the ones who have a committee that goes and does all of the seeking of the location and in vetting everything and figuring it out to find out where we're going to have our national convention. Then we vote on the locations. We do everything from committees on election integrity, on which I sit, and also a faith engagement committee on which I sit. And then we also have everything from budget to executive committee and various other committees of the RNC that has meetings and then does policy type things. It is a great joy to be amongst these incredible people. I will tell you that all in all, I have to say the group of people that I get to, hi Josie, the people I get to hang with are high quality worker bee people now. It wasn't always like that, and I got a story for you on that a little bit, but it has to do with Turning Point. But when I first got elected, it was 2020. That was my first 4-year term. I am in kind of a year and a half into my second and final term. And I say final term, not because there are term limits, but because I am term limiting myself. I believe that people should do their job and then sit down. So I am,
I mean, it sucks if somebody does a good job like you and they leave. Then what?
I get that. That's kind of you. That's great. But honestly, I just don't believe that I should be like hanging out and squatting in a spot for that
I got
long.
you.
I think I should like sit my butt down and let somebody else do it. I preached that my whole entire life, that man, I wish those people would just realize that they shouldn't be in that office for 27 years. And so because I say that about other people and politicians, I think I should talk the talk, but also walk the walk. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to term limit myself. So,
and I totally get that, Lori. I've been in that position with different boards, different committees, and you know what? I always get the same thing. Like, oh, we really don't want you to leave. I go, but I said, if I did my job right, I was already training my next person, next person in line, the one who's going to stand in and fill that gap. And I don't want to be there, honestly, my whole life, and I'm not always right. So you need to have that new person come in, and I bet that's pretty much what you're feeling on that.
Yeah, exactly right. And the other thing about it is that when I ran in 2020, the person who was running before me, who was the
which I called her too.
The National Committee woman before me, when I called her and told her that I was going to run for National Committee woman, she said, and I quote, "Well, I haven't decided whether I'm going to run for a 4th term, but I have chosen somebody to run in my stead."
Ooh.
Oh, really?
Well, I'm glad
and
that
so I
person's
learned
not
a valuable lesson at that point, that I do not want to be the girl who anoints somebody and chooses somebody. I'm going to let them decide on their own that they're going to run. And I just decided I just never want to be like that. And last I heard, it was an election and not a coronation. So,
and you're right. And that's important, because I've never chosen anybody, but I always try to find that person in wherever I'm involved at, and maybe, kind of help them out, give them the things. It's up to them whether they run. I always kind of encourage it, but yeah, this is not a dynasty. We don't choose our next successor. We should.
Right. Exactly right. And I actually think that we have a lot of amazing women that could step into the role. And so we have a deep bench in the Republican Party in North Dakota, particularly amongst the grassroots. So
it's gotten bigger too, and I think it's gotten younger. And I credit organizations like the Young Republicans, Turning Point. I've seen this happen since I got involved, and I've stepped back a little bit, as you probably know, and several others, from that for many, many different reasons. But watching these young guys come up, young men and women, I think our future is bright, as long as we can keep certain people from basically hammering them down.
I am very fortunate in that, as a National Committee woman for a state, I have a great relationship with our YRs in our state, to the point where they gave me a couple of years ago a legendary award. I have my own name tag, literally, that is a YR name tag that is made out of etched wood. That is my prized possession that I carry with me in my purse. And whenever I'm traveling, I'm showing people, like, look at this. This is so cool. I got it when I was like in my 50s, but did not matter because they considered me friendly enough to them and mentoring of them that they were so kind. So I have like I say, and it's not like that in every single state. There are many states where there are some states where they have a more liberal group as their YRs, they're young Republicans. In our state, our young Republicans are more conservative sometimes.
Yeah, they're pretty hardcore.
The other guys.
Well,
so,
you got guys like Delvin Boehm out there, who now he's a chairman. I mean, I can just go on and on about the people in that organization. And like I said, the future's bright. Josie's now District 8 chair. I've seen so many people come into this that are taking leadership positions now in their district committees, maybe at the state level. It's really, really good to see. I'm very happy to see these things happening.
Well, we're making a concerted effort, Clay, to do that, to train up people and do the Turning Point model of making sure that we are able to replace ourselves. We're not going to be around forever. Not everybody hangs out and kind of covers that spot for a really long time. We know some of us realize that it's really a good idea to work with the next generation because they are going to be our future. And we've got a very bright future in North Dakota because of our YRs. They're just terrific. Brandon Pritchard is now the YR chairman in the state, and he's easy peasy to work with. So
go ahead, Jamie.
So Turning Point, I was going to say they're coming to UND, right, in the near
Correct,
future?
on October 9th. And the guy who's going to be replacing it should have been Charlie Kirk.
I know who it is, though.
It is. Glenn Beck is coming.
All right.
That's amazing.
I actually still got a shirt.
Ticket.
I got a shirt yet that Clay got me in DC from the Glenn Beck store, I think. It says,
really?
Oh, crap. It says, oh, crap, and the Obama sign's cracking in half.
Oh, my God. That goes back from your volunteer days. When I was
it was popular, man. It was quite a popular shirt when I'd wear it.
Isn't that funny,
awesome.
Lori? How our circles all when you're in that community, and it's a family. If you're a conservative, you're in that family. And look at JB was a volunteer at the NRA. Of course, I got involved with District 31 and the Republican Party. I met you that way. I think that's why North Dakota is kind of unique. I hail from South Dakota. Remember, Jamie? That's just that dumb South Dakota.
Yep, South Dakota cowboy. Absolutely.
And people confuse that on the RNC all the time. They'll be like, "Oh, you're from South Dakota." I go, "No, no. I am from the one on top."
Well, they had to implant me up here so I could boost that up a little bit.
I mean, Eric might disagree in the comments with that, but he's wrong too.
I've never walked. I was born in Rapid City, South Dakota. Was raised in Lemmon, and then I married up. I moved to North Dakota when I married my wife. So see, it's all good.
Good choice.
So who else is coming up there? Is I've never been to one of these. So Glenn, is he going to be just the whole time? Is Glenn speaking and talking, taking questions?
Here's the deal. I think what he's going to do, and what I've heard, and I don't know if this is true, is that they're not necessarily going to do a tabling event like that they were going to do with Charlie, where they're going back and forth and doing the discussion. It's likely that it's going to be just the evening thing that Glenn Beck will do, and then he'll probably take questions from the stage. Is my best bet.
Okay.
That seems to be the format now, Lori. I just got done watching Megyn Kelly. I believe she's in Virginia. I literally was just watching it before we come on here. Mm-hmm. And it seems to be more like that. There are people asking questions, but she's on a stage, or actually both of them, the one before that was on as well. They're on a stage, and students could come up and ask the questions. And I think right now, and then it doesn't surprise me, a lot of students walking up, saying, thank you for doing this. Thank you for keeping them going. We miss Charlie. You're going to have that for a while. It's pretty new. It hasn't been that long since he was killed and assassinated. 2 weeks.
Yeah, I was going to say 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, to this day. Mm-hmm. Because it happened, when it happened on the 10th, we went, we did a live show that night and talked about it. So, yeah, it's pretty fresh in everyone's mind, and I understand that. I never had the opportunity, unfortunately, to meet Charlie. I actually had my tickets to Grand Forks. I was planning to go to that one, hoping I could get in because students get in first.
Right.
And I'm an old guy, so I got to wait.
I'm the same way. I'm an old lady, too.
I still have my ticket. I see at that event, it looks like they're honoring those tickets that were bought, or, they're not bought. They're free tickets, everybody.
Correct.
And I encourage.
They're reserved. Yeah.
They're reserved. And I don't know if I'm going to make the trek now, me and my wife, because I have a feeling, just as with what we're seeing with the last two that they did, you're not going to get in if you're not.
Thousands of people too. Yeah.
And people that can't get in outside, which is fantastic. And I mean, what we've seen ignited in this country with politics, conservatism, religion, Christianity, and as a whole, Charlie Kirk could have never imagined it. Actually,
he imagined it. I guarantee you.
He did imagine, but
he
wasn't
did.
See it like
but I think I think it probably has exceeded. But
absolutely.
he envisioned all of that, Clay. What you need to know about Charlie is that he always dreamed big. Always.
He was 18 years old.
Yeah, and he would say to his, so if you want to go and we can talk Charlie here, I'm happy to talk about him.
How about we hold on, we'll take our first break. We do a few breaks here, even in the podcast, bro. We still got to pay bills, but we'll do a quick break and then we'll come back and let's go right into that, okay?
We'll do.
All right.
Located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Hey, welcome back. But we got one extra one to add to you guys. Kalon's Auto Service. It's serving you with all your auto repair needs right there in Lemmon, South Dakota. And he just upgraded. And we can't thank him enough for stepping up and supporting the Second Amendment freedom and our conservative and Christian values. Kalon and Misty Foss, you can phone him at 605-374-3991. Again, 605-374-3991, right there in Lemmon, South Dakota, off of Highway 12 at 1101 6th Avenue West. Kalon's Auto Service in Lemmon, South Dakota.
Any relation to Joe Foss?
No, he is not. He's not. No.
If anybody doesn't know who that is, World War II fighter ace and
North Dakota governor
and head of the NRA and many other things. He's an amazing human being, great of the greatest Americans.
He even chaired the American Football League or something like
that. Yeah, he did. That's right. He did. Joe Foss was unbelievable, man. I feel very insignificant when I see him.
He was one of my badasses. Remember that when we first started that? Yeah.
That's right.
So I did a whole thing about him, but yeah. All right. So Lori, welcome back here. Everybody just tuning in. We thank you for tuning in. Looks like Twitter's on fire. We cannot see that in our counter, unfortunately, but I hopped over there and thank you everybody over there on X. The chats.
There you go, Clay. You said Twitter. It is X.
I know, Twitter, X. I guess I'm never going to probably.
I don't like saying Twitter because that's the leftists owned it, man.
So everybody, I'm going to do a little plug. Everybody should follow me on X because I am prolific and often am posting, and I retweet the coolest people and the coolest things on
like
X.
701.
So yes, I do. So follow me at Hinz Lori, HINZLORI at HINZLORI.
Okay, yeah, Hinz Lori.
Hinz Lori. Yep. And I am.
We're following. X. We're already following, Lori.
I'm on X far more often than I am on Facebook, actually, because Facebook irritates me because their algorithm is censorship, and I'm just not a big fan of that. So
we're basically censored right now. We're not even live streaming to our actual Facebook page, but
yeah, it's atrocious, really.
So here, when we repost
here, right there, guys, there it is. There's her Twitter. We'll share that right into there. And yeah, you're going to want to go check that out.
That picture on the very top is a picture that I took when I was in Milwaukee for the national convention and where we were sitting. And I looked up and I saw Trump and I took a picture of it. So that's my own picture there. Yeah.
Amazing convention, by the way.
I seen that. That was fantastic. We got to put that up. So
that is good stuff.
Clinton. Here comes George W. Here comes Barack. And Trump.
That's the first term.
Not open.
That is awesome.
Whoever came up with that, brilliant in my mind.
Oh, you know they were just having a conversation about it and talking about it, and Trump's like, "Do it."
Trump, not only Trump, but all of the Border Patrol, Homeland Security, whoever runs their social media accounts is awesome. I love it.
They really do a great job, don't they? And he's our favorite president. By the way, I have never met Donald Trump. I've been the National Committeewoman for 5 years, and I have yet to meet him. I did, however, get to meet the vice president just last month in August for the first time, and that was great. We had about a 12-second conversation when I got to get my picture taken along with the other two boys who are on the RNC with me, Matt and Steve. So that was pretty amazing and it was very exciting. And our whole conversation went kind of like this. Mr. Vice President, great to meet you. I understand you were in our state last week for a little vacation. He goes, yes, I was in North Dakota for a full 12 hours. He said,
12 hours.
And so I said, well, I just want you to know that you are welcome back. We would love for you to come back to North Dakota. And when you come back next time, let us know.
Yeah. So, Lori, quick story. We have
a great show to put them on. It's called Guns in the 701. There's a great one over there on Beck, Lori. You better give us a plug there.
Yeah, right.
So we're all out on the.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you still have your show on Beck, Lori?
I have a couple of different things that I have projects on Beck right now. I am doing Made Local. So I'm not doing a talk show any longer, but I am a frequent guest on Ladies of Another View, which is another show with other ladies.
We've been on there.
Yep.
I've been on with Lori before after Rick retired from there.
That's right. And I also.
Uh-oh. Let's bring her back. We'll bring her back. All right, you're back.
All right, there we go.
You guys shutting me off or
something? I'm not.
There must be something on your I don't have a clue, but
all the good news we can bring you right back.
I am still here though. I mean, I still can hear you and everything. So I don't know where my screen is going, but yeah, I have Made Local where I feature entrepreneurs and cottage industries and little businesses from all over the state. It is my happy place to go all over and highlight people. One guy, Timmy's Pastime Eats, started with smoking in his backyard some pistachios with fabulous flavors. He is now, a couple of years later of that show, nationwide.
Wow. Really? Awesome.
Super, super cool. And if you haven't had Timmy's Pastime pistachios, they are fabulous. They are my guilty pleasure.
Where can we get those at?
There, you can get them at any Ace Hardware store in the country.
Okay.
Legit. Yep. He went to the Ace Hardware convention recently, and my husband and I own 2 Ace Hardware stores, and so he was in our hardware store.
I highly recommend to everybody. I go there all the time if I have to get anything that's hardware related. I'm telling you.
Thanks, Clay.
Go there. Yeah, I do. I make a point to go to either the one south or the one north. So
yeah. So my husband Jeff runs the south store, and our oldest son Sam has been running the north store for 6 years on his own.
Yeah, and he's doing a great job. He don't know who I am because I've never said. I can tell you did well with that one. He's doing a great job, and you are not going to find any better service, honestly. They're very friendly. They're very presentable. That makes a difference to me. They're knowledgeable and helpful. I'm telling you.
Oh, thank you.
Hometown service is alive at Ace Hardware.
Yeah.
In both
Every time I've been to either one, I like it. People are great.
Thank you, guys. That really means a lot. We're real proud of the people that we have working with us. They're amazing, amazing folks, and our staff is top notch.
Yes, they are.
So.
All right.
Yeah. So, anyways, Lori, real quick.
Leave you speechless?
I was going to tell you real quick. We were talking about JD Vance. We were out on the river, Arbor pontoons in Lakewood, and the big C-130 or whatever come rolling in, and everybody's like, "There's JD Vance!" Well, he was really on it. All the pontoons except for one that was full of angry liberals, honking horns, had their flags up in the air, clapping, whistling, hollering, mega. It was awesome. I felt great doing it. I was like, man, everybody in here loves President Trump and JD Vance, and people were cheering. It was great, man.
I'll tell you what, I was the happiest human on the face of the earth when he was announced as our vice presidential candidate. I really was. I was a happy camper.
And Charlie Kirk had a lot to do with that.
Yeah, he did. I think so too. I also think that the boys, both Don Jr. and Eric, had a good deal to do with it too. That's my theory, that they got in Dad's ear about that and said, no, we don't want this other guy who is a governor. We want this guy who's going to give us lots of longevity, is a little bit younger, is, going to appeal to the younger guys. And boy, did he ever. So,
so who was it again? It was Governor Burgum, former Governor Burgum, and who were the other? There's a handful of them there, right?
There were a handful of people, little
the guy who's running for Ohio,
who has ended up to be the most unbelievable bad.
Rubio's,
you know what? He's
agreed. And that's a sentiment that runs with almost every Republican. I'm like, where was this guy? This is freaking awesome, man.
Yeah,
I
he
love
has
it.
come a long way from the Gang of Eight, if you ask me. I love the guy. I think he's
Hey, there's my cousin Carrie out in Washington. Hey, thanks for tuning in, Carrie. Appreciate you. Former Mercer County resident there, my cousin. She's out in Washington now. Appreciate you coming in. Big Republican too.
She's in Washington D.C. or Washington State.
State.
Also, she's
which needs more Republicans, as by the way.
Yeah, she's out by Seattle there, so she's in the hive. I don't know how much you want to know. Yeah. Appreciate you tuning in.
She's deep behind enemy lines.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, she is. And
So
she's a fellow cat lover like myself.
I have. Oh, you're a cat person? Yay!
Oh, I am. I get a lot of crap from my fellow right wingers about it.
You can turn in your man card, they say. I think.
Yeah.
But no, I
even it out with this. These two things. Anyways, go.
Talk to the hand. So I would love to tell you guys about my last 3 days ago experience and 4 days ago experiences, because it was pretty crazy. First, I kind of have to go back and tell you a little bit about Turning Point and my experience and my history with Turning Point, because as I mentioned, I have actually met Charlie Kirk. That is when he interviewed me. That picture there was, awesome. I was at a Turning Point event and Charlie Kirk himself interviewed me on the Bannon show.
Okay, so that was probably on Real America's Voice then too.
Correct, on Real America's Voice. Yep. It was.
That's what I watch all the time.
That same day, I got to meet Newt Gingrich because he was leaving just as I was coming in, and I was like, "That's Newt Gingrich." Yeah, that was pretty fabulous. America Fest is something that Turning Point does, and it is just an amazing 4-day event. Usually 60 plus speakers. I mean, it's hard to really fathom that many people, but it started in 2021, and in the second year in 2022 my husband and I went. Since that time we've gone in 2023 and 2024, so we've been to America Fest 3 times. We've also been to SAS's Student Action Summits. My husband went without me one time with one of our sons to one because I had a Beck annual meeting at the time, and so I couldn't do that. And so, yeah, America Fest is just, it is. Cool. It is the most amazing experience, and I would highly recommend, even if you're an old person like me, still consider going, because it is like nothing you have ever experienced.
So it's like kryptonite to Democrats.
Well, it kind of is. And if you watched, for instance, if you watched the memorial service that was held this past Sunday, you could see how highly produced it was and how one thing went right into the next. It was one thing after the other with easy transitions, big sparklers everywhere, major entrances by people. That is what Turning Point does. I know that people who probably saw that memorial service went, "It's a funeral. Why are they doing sparklers?" But if you are familiar with Turning Point, that's what they do. That's their thing. That's their thing. That's what they do. So Jeff and I started going to Turning Point, and the speakers that they have come from politics and music.
Well, right here they are.
Yeah.
Jesse Waters, who I love listening to Jesse Waters.
Yeah.
You got Don Jr., Steve Bannon, Greg Gutfeld, I love watching that guy too.
Yeah, Gutfeld is so obnoxious. He's so funny, but he is great when he's sitting on stage. He's like obsessed with poop. I don't know what that whole thing is about. But I do really watch him regularly, and he cracks me up. And I'm a big fan of Tyrus and Cat Tim too. I just really like.
Oh yeah,
well, you see Rob Schneider's coming there, and I can tell you this: I never knew he was a conservative, and I'm not sure he was when he started out. But now he's not silent about it at all.
When I was doing my talk show on Beck, I had him on as a guest one time. And so a lot of people I've actually had on as guests. I had Vivek Ramaswamy on my TV show on Beck right 2 months after he before anybody knew how to say his name or knew who he was. So he had announced, I think, in February, and in April I had him on the air already when he was running for president. Yeah, super cool.
Jack I like Jack.
Poso.
I love listening to him.
Jack was
that guy's awesome.
Here's my Poso story. I was sitting at at the memorial. They announced that POSO was going to come out. I was sitting next to the co-chair of the RNC's scheduler, and her name is Lauren, and she's delightful young gal. And I said, POSO's coming out, and you watch, he's going to have his rosary. And he walks out and holds it up, and she looks at me like, how did you know that? And I said, because I've seen him at Turning Point. He does that every time. So he comes out with his rosary, but she thought I was a genius for knowing that. It cracked me up.
Oh, yeah?
So, yeah. So the deal
he just
is
grabbed that rosary bead and just right
yeah,
out
right.
there.
It was kind of crazy that she just looked at me like, what are you, Nostradamus? How did you know that? So in 2023, as I was on the RNC in 2023, I supported Harmeet Dillon to run for RNC chairman. The election was to be held in January of 2023 at Dana Point at our winter meeting. Ronna McDaniel was running. I and the two other members from North Dakota at the time had received like 200 emails from people, not only from North Dakota, but all over the United States. And they all said the same thing, guys. They said, please do not elect Ronna McDaniel again. Please elect Harmeet Dillon.
Yeah.
And if you remember, actually, Mike Lindell was actually the other person who ran. He only ended up with like.
I didn't remember that.
Yeah.
Mike, I really would like to see
Harmeet Dillon is like currently the district attorney in New Jersey or something, right?
She is not. She is the assistant attorney general for civil rights under Pam Bondi in the Department of Justice. She remains to this day a very close friend of mine. I have been in her home, and she said that if I go to DC, I can stay with her.
Nice.
So yeah, she's amazing. She is just kicking butt and taking names, and she is rocking things. She actually is a prolific knitter, interestingly, and she knit me my own hat.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Love that.
You should have wore it.
I know. Well, I've got it in my car. I can go get it during the commercial break next time. Because I carry it around with me. It's my badge of honor. It's my prized possession. I love that hat. It's gorgeous too. She actually knitted me a hat. Okay, so there are going to be people who are going to be just ticked about that because they all want her to make them stuff, and she's like, I'm not making anything for anybody unless I know them. So
well, I can tell you this, Lori, Ronna Romney, let's not forget who she really is.
Yeah, Ronna.
And she was no good. Of course, Perry and Shane were both great fans of hers, and me and Perry have a very let's just say it's not a great past.
It's a love-hate relationship. I mean, without the love in it, Clay.
Well, when he brought me in, I don't know what he was thinking. I can remember sitting down with him and him telling me, "Oh, I'm a constitutionalist," because I said, "Oh, I'm a big constitutionalist." I have several copies around. I pulled it out. Oh, yes, I am too. I said, I don't know. I said, I really am. I said, trust me, I think I know every word of it. And I'm surprised that he's the one that I don't know if he thought I was his buddy, if not, but he learned I wasn't. And of course, then I was, I think, Satan reincarnated to him. But you know what? It was an interesting time in District 31. And now they got control, unfortunately. But I do not care for him, and I was so glad when Matthew ran and won. And right now, that was probably big issue here in North Dakota. People don't know it, but that was a huge win. Matthew beating him yet again.
Actually, Matthew defeated Shane Gettle for that position because Sandy Sanford was Sandy Sanford. Okay, so it was Perry.
Okay, I'm sorry,
Schaefer.
I got my history mixed up here.
I can sort it out. So it was Perry Schaefer, and then he did a 2-year term, and then Sandy Sanford defeated him by 1 vote.
That's
and then
right.
She served 2 years, and then she decided not to run again in this last one in June of this year. And so she did not run again. And so it was actually Judy Estenson and Matt Simon and Shane Gettle. And after the first or second ballot was kind of obvious that it wasn't going to be working out, the very lovely, and I adore her, Judy Estenson dropped out. And so it was Shane Gettle versus,
right.
And as a history, Shane Gettle was the National Committeewoman. Or committee man, rather. Sorry.
Well, you got it right the first. Anyway, let's just face it. Shane is Perry's boy.
Well, Shane and
I worked with them two guys. Actually, I probably have more respect for Perry because I know exactly what Perry is. Shane to me is a snake. I'm not afraid to say it. We can say it on this show. You don't have to say it, Lori.
I don't believe that. I don't believe.
I know you
snake,
don't. A lot of other people don't. I know him too well. He's a snake in my eyes, and that's just my opinion of him.
So Shane was the national committee man with me in my first term.
Yep.
And then Steve ran. And when Steve ran at the convention, Dr. Steve Nagel to be national committee man, then in 2024, I may or may not have given his nomination speech at the convention. And there was an audible gasp in the room. They're like, what is she doing? You know, but I believed that he would make a great national committee man because he is so fearless and outspoken, particularly on health freedom issues.
Oh, yeah.
He's
Shane's
a
awesome
rock
at that.
star. He is a rising star in the RNC as well. He has already been asked by some Turning Point people to even speak at things. So I'm just telling you, we've got a couple of really great gems that I get to work with now. So in 2023, Shane and Perry were serving on the RNC with me, and both of them in writing on an email endorsed Ronna McDaniel.
Doesn't surprise me.
And well, it was really disappointing to me. I held my powder dry, as they say. Ronna McDaniel called me and she said, so can I get your support? And I said, Ronna, I don't even know who's running yet. Harmeet had not even announced yet. It was just Ronna and nobody was going against her. And then these guys all came out and, tried to, I don't know, what's the word I want? They tried to just bulldoze her way through by endorsing her in advance. So it was a deterrent to anybody else running. And so when I talked to her on the phone, I said, I don't know who's running yet. So until I know who's running actually against you, I'm not going to give you my support. She goes, well, I figured you wouldn't support me. I said, no, that's not what I said. What I said was, I'm waiting to find out who's actually running, and then I will choose. And so as it turned out, Harmeet threw her hat in the ring, and she was far and away way more popular amongst the grassroots. She was far more aligned with Turning Point. She was far more conservative, and
a lot importantly too, she got a lot more donations than Ronna did.
Well, the thing is she has the thing about Harmeet that people don't maybe know is that she went to Dartmouth at age 16.
Wow.
She went to college when she was 16 years old. She was outstanding in her studies. She was the editor of the college publication. She started her own law firm in California, the Dillon Law Group. She also started a group called Center for American Liberty. I could talk for hours on how great she is and how she is absolutely aiding Pam Bondi in our country right now, doing amazing things. I'm so proud to even know her. She's terrific. Anyway, so it wasn't even close who I was going to support. Well, then we were kind of whipping votes for Harmeet. Well, then, there was a bit of a split within the RNC because there were the people who were Ronna people and there were the people who were not the Ronna people. Well, we didn't have enough votes. It ended up being 111 to 51 votes for Harmeet. So it was like 2/3, 1/3, basically. And let me just tell you what happened after that. So the TPUSA people decided at that point to start what was called the Mount Vernon Project. I bet you guys have never heard of the Mount Vernon Project.
Yes, before.
I have.
You have?
Yes.
Okay.
You gotta remember, I'm still connected, Lori.
I know. I'm so impressed that you know that, but it's not well known. It was kind of a unique thing, and I looked it up today because the Mount Vernon Project is still live on the website. And if you're ever interested in supporting something, this is what their mission was and how they described it. I'm going to read this to you because this is so great.
I'm going to pull it up here for you.
Yeah, that'd be great. It says, in January 2023, Ronna Romney McDaniel was reelected for a third term as chairwoman of the RNC, despite grassroots calls for Harmeet Dillon's election being disregarded. The RNC's consistent disconnect from everyday American voters and grassroots conservatives is compounded by self-serving figures within its ranks. These actions overshadow the genuine patriots upholding the party's values. In response, a movement. Okay, I think you're looking at the Mount Vernon.
Yep,
Actually,
I'm
you
sorry.
have
I
to
just
go.
looked at this.
That's George Washington's house.
Yeah,
I brought the wrong
let me
one
give
up.
you the. I'll give you
I
the
am
email
sorry.
address. That's right. I'll give you the
No,
correct one.
I clicked the wrong thing.
Yeah,
Here it is.
there you go. There you got it. Okay, okay.
I'm sorry. I clicked the wrong thing when I
No
brought
worries.
it up.
No worries. So,
See,
okay,
this is what happens when you're the producer and a co-host.
you are multitasking. I get that.
Lori worked in
So-
radio. She knows.
So that is all true. These actions overshadow the genuine patriots upholding the party's values. In response, a movement emerged to revive the Republican Party. This movement, spearheaded by Turning Point Action, has taken the form of the Mount Vernon Project, or MVP. MVP is a strategic
Awesome acronym.
Isn't that great?
Yes.
The MVP, and I know the girl who invented it too. So anyway, MVP is a strategic initiative aimed at effecting change within the RNC by harnessing the enthusiasm and commitment of dedicated conservative leaders. The central goal of MVP is to identify and rally a new generation of passionate and unwavering conservative leaders who will challenge the status quo and work diligently to represent the values of everyday Americans. At the heart of the MVP's mission is a deep commitment to revitalizing the Republican National Committee from the inside out. The project's approach is multifaceted, focusing on the recruitment and empowerment of genuine conservatives. The MVP aims to fill positions ranging from state party chair, national committee man, and national committee woman, because as I said, those are the three. These roles are strategically vital to and exert considerable influence over the party's direction. Partnering with Turning Point Action's robust field program, the Mount Vernon Project will undertake a comprehensive effort to identify and recruit individuals who exemplify the highest standards of conservative leadership. The selection process focuses on identifying leaders who are not only competent and reliable, but also genuinely dedicated to upholding conservative values. By identifying and nurturing such individuals, the project aims to forge a path for them to actively engage with the Republican Party machinery. At its heart, the Mount Vernon Project aims to support new conservative leaders in challenging the party's status quo. Isn't this great? I know, it's so awesome. It says, at its heart, the Mount Vernon Project aims to support new conservative leaders in challenging the party's status quo. Its effort reflects the idea of standing up to the, quote, establishment as seen as out of touch with regular Americans. And by helping these committed grassroots conservatives gain influence, the project aims to balance the power and recommit to serving American interests first.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And that little bit at the end is so great too. It says, in the spirit of George Washington, we are calling on you to step up into a leadership role in the Republican Party, not forever, but for a time that your party needs you. The Mount Vernon Project encourages and empowers those who want to do good for their country while simultaneously keeping one goal in mind: to bring our country home.
I know. It is
the best thing you can contribute to, folks, because think about it. Getting rid of those establishment type people quietly and carefully in the background is the best possible way to completely change the RNC. And I am here to tell you that in the last 3 years, especially, I have seen a massive change in the makeup of the RNC.
Oh, it's been huge. And it's been a positive thing. It truly has. I'm telling you right now, Mount Vernon Project, like you said, is very unknown. And Turning Point, you know who actually turned me on to Turning Point or explained it was Jared Hendricks in the beginning. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know much about it because let's face it, I wasn't even near college age anymore when I first met Jared. He's the one though that convinced me to get involved in District 31. He truly was. I didn't know nothing about these things, and I know now looking back, he was giving me the pointers and the training that I see the Turning Point USA people use all the time, and that's their success. Their training is phenomenal.
It is. And the gal who runs the Mount Vernon Project is such a dear friend of mine. She's probably, I think she's probably 26 or 27 now. But at the time I met her in 2022, she would have been in the 23, 24 range. And out of college, she'd been working for Turning Point for a while. And her name is Charlotte. And Charlotte, I adore. If you watch the Kennedy Center memorial that they had in Washington, D.C. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep, I do.
She and her friend Malia, who I know both of them, and a guy named Jay Kaufman, who is the current national committee man from Arizona, they were 3 of the 4 people who put that whole thing on.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yes.
And they did a
Young
phenomenal
people.
job.
Young people, and they did it in like about 72 hours too. It was insanely cool. These people, Charlie Kirk knows how to, I cannot speak of him in the past. Charlie Kirk knew how to recruit the best people that he could find, and he found the most intelligent and incredible people to surround himself with.
He was a master at it.
Yeah, and I will tell you that is the hardest thing for me right now, missing him, because it's the people that he has surrounded himself with who are my good friends, like Tyler Boyer and Charlotte and Malia and all these people who are suffering the pain of his loss greater than any of us can even know. And that hurts my heart.
But they're doing it. It is amazing. And this could go off on a whole nother pathway, but with their faith, with what they were taught, they shared that shared Christian faith. They're doing it. It's hard. I know it is, but they also know what the promise is. I think that's what keeps them going. You look at Andrew over there on Charlie Kirk's show.
Yeah.
That guy's been phenomenal keeping
that Andrew Colvett, the producer. Yeah,
oh my goodness.
He's terrific too. So Tyler, who I mentioned, Tyler also served with me on the RNC for 4 years.
Really?
So from 20 to 24. So Tyler was the national committee man from Arizona, and he and I got very close. And then he invited Jeff and me to go to the Turning Point stuff. And so we started going to America Fest, and AmFest is fantastic. I want to go so bad to AmFest. You seriously must consider going. It is amazing. They go from one to the other to the other to the other of speakers, and it is just, it's phenomenal. And it's all the best in the country.
I have no doubt Trump will be there. I'm talking the President Trump, and I imagine J.D. Vance being Charlie Kirk and him were so close.
I've seen Trump there. Trump's
been there before, but
yeah, he has. I've seen him there before.
And Trump, guys, if you have never seen him in person, I highly recommend it. I went to the big gathering down in Rapid City that they did an ice hockey rink. I'm telling you, that was a phenomenal display of patriotism. You could feel it in there. Better than any sports game I've ever been to or any other thing. It was a combination of it all, and I do highly recommend that.
I went to a rally before this latest election in Minnesota in St. Cloud, and I took my 70-something-year-old girlfriend with me, and she and I had such a great time, and they seated us right behind the stage on the bleachers. And it was 2 weeks after he had been shot. And I am here to tell you, I'm like, this is not the best spot to sit in right now.
That's what's funny. So when we went to Rapid City, I took my son because Leighton is he's like me. He's into this, right? And we went. I got tickets. We got there early. We had great seats. Well, them guys were coming around. I forget their name, but they're at every single rally. And they wanted Leighton to go up with them. Young kid, really pro-Trump. We had our shirts. I mean, we were having a great time, right? Mm-hmm. He wouldn't do it because, that was a couple of years ago. He was a little bit skeptical about going up there. I sure wish he'd have done it, but he was, they go around a lot of times and just pick people out of the lines. And that's, he has that persona. If you've never met my son.
I'm hoping to meet him. I have never met Trump, and I am hoping to get to meet him. It just hasn't happened. And I'll be honest with you, the only reason it hasn't happened is because I am not an aggressive person. I could make it happen, but I am not that type of person to say, get out of my way, I need to go. I've been 14 feet from him several times. I've been to Mar-a-Lago twice for various things. Once with my husband, once with my RNC people. And I just I'm not an aggressive person. I'm just not. I have girlfriends on the RNC who are very aggressive. I am not that way. So,
well, there you go. You just got to go do it.
I know.
I'll tell you what. We're coming. Do you want to stay? I know you said 1 hour, but you want to stick around with us?
Well, I'd love to be able to tell you about my experience in Phoenix this last weekend.
Let's take a quick break here. It'll be about a 4-minute break. Come on back, and we can finish up with that.
I'll go get my Parmeet hat so you can see that.
Sounds good. See, I told you. You said 2 hours. Really? Yeah, that's nothing. We go 2 hours, no problem. So, all right, let's go ahead and take our long break, and then I'm going to do one quick one again for Kalon's Auto, and then we'll hit this. and we'll go into our break. Hey, guys, Kalon's Auto Service in Lemmon, South Dakota. They're serving you with all your auto repair needs. Kalon and Misty Foss, they can be reached at 605-374-3991. Again, 605-374-3991, right off of Highway 12 in Lemmon, South Dakota. You go south on 6th Avenue at 1101 West, and you'll get the best service from the best people who support our Constitution, our freedoms, and the Second Amendment. That's Kalon's Auto Service in Lemmon, South Dakota.
Lauer Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Looking for the best gun gear for every and any situation? Little Angry Man Arms LLC has you covered. Top-notch guns from top-name brands like Winchester, Glock, Sig Sauer, and Ruger to essential extras from Magpul's, Streamlight, Hollow, Sun Optics, and more. Little Angry Man Arms LLC have everything to make your shooting adventures a success. Visit littleangrymanarms.com today and gear up for your next big hunt, competition, or home defense. Don't miss out on our exclusive deals. Little Angry Man Arms LLC, based in Trail City, South Dakota, your ultimate hunting partner.
At Horton LaserCraft, we believe in the power of personalization. Whether it's a cherished memory, a special occasion, or a unique gift, our custom laser engraving brings your vision to life. Our expert craftsmen and state-of-the-art technology ensure every piece is a work of art. From personalized decor to one-of-a-kind keepsakes, Horton LaserCraft makes every moment unforgettable. Horton LaserCraft is owned and operated by a local veteran and his wife located near Thunderhawk, South Dakota. They provide custom laser products at a reasonable price, and their turnaround time is fast and efficient.
Custom board cutting, glassware, decanter sets, mugs, assorted stainless steel jewelry, assorted tags, decor, custom acrylic nightlights, and much, much more.
Call them up at 605-545-7535. Horton LaserCraft, where memories are engraved.
Okay.
All right, we are back, everybody. Hey, over there on X, thanks. I was kind of quickly putting this together, Jamie. We're probably showing, or we're tuned in by about 150 plus people tonight. So thank you.
Saw that.
Appreciate
Saw
that.
that.
And X,
There's a hat.
There's
You
a hat.
love this?
Yeah,
Look at how
it looks
intricate
good.
this is.
Look at
I'm
that.
pretty
Look.
sure she did that with cashmere, but how cool is that hat? Seriously.
That
Nice
is
She
work.
knitted that.
That's nice work right
Hermie
there.
Dillon, the Assistant Attorney General for the
That's-
DOJ.
awesome.
On top of being a successful businesswoman, she's damn good with the hands.
She's a gifted gardener. She's a great cook in the kitchen. She's got mad skills. She's got
You
mad
gotta
skills.
remember, that's what you get with the GOP. We get people with skills. They can make great contributions. They're successful. They're doing things. Versus the other party, not so much.
So Clay, did we hit a button here? These chats aren't showing up like next to our pic.
They're on my end. Can you see them?
Are they? Well, yeah, they're on the way right, but usually they're up on the screen here next to our pictures.
I've got them on the screen. Can any?
I have them on the side there too.
Oh,
Yep. I
now
saw
they
them.
left. I'll put them back.
Now they're there.
Okay, yep, now they're there.
Okay, they just say coming up on mine. I'm the one who made them disappear because never mind.
All right. Well.
Okay, my bad. Never mind. It's on
you
my
just
end.
suck. No.
Yeah.
Right.
No kidding.
All right. And sorry, people, we haven't been doing as much with the chat tonight because we got such a great show going on tonight. But I'll tell you what, let's do this, Lori. You went to the memorial, and my goodness, I watched it. Like I said, I couldn't watch it live. We live streamed it to all our platforms, which
great.
Last time I figured it up here, now we're over 2,000 people have viewed it through ours. So I'm very thankful that many people it was able to reach. And that's what we're talking about, right? 2,000 turns into 10,000, turns into 20. You look at what happened at that memorial. I can't imagine being there because it looked like it was just, as I heard it so many times, the arena was filled with the Holy Ghost. And I've heard that so many times from people that were going there. We had people from Lemmon, from my area, that attended it. And I wished I could have been there. But go ahead, and why don't you give us your experience?
Well, I'm going to tell you first my history with Charlie Kirk a little bit. He came to North Dakota for a North Dakota Right to Life thing. He also endorsed me, as you can see right there, for the RNC. I met him a couple of times. He spoke at an RNC breakfast one time, and I had been on the RNC representing the state since 2020 by that time. And I was at an airport one time, and I ran into him at the airport. That picture that you saw was when he interviewed me at my first AmFest. I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I get to do this. This is so crazy. Let's see. The National Committeewoman from Nebraska, who we're going to show in a second in another picture. There she is in the blue with the pin on her. That is the Nebraska National Committeewoman, good girlfriend of mine named Fanshawn Blythe. And she invited Jeff and me, my husband and I, one time to go to a Lincoln Reagan Day dinner in Lincoln, Nebraska. So we flew to Omaha, drove to Lincoln, and then went to that dinner. And the keynote was Charlie Kirk, and he sat right next to me at the dinner that night. So that was a thrill for me, and I have thanked her so many times for that. That was really a really cool thing. And then Charlie, of course, then this last time was so kind, and he doesn't endorse everybody, so it was pretty big thing for me to get endorsed by.
I remember when that Charlie came out. I thought that was pretty cool, Lori.
Yeah, and I ran unopposed, which was also kind of crazy too. So the deal was, I got an invitation to go to the memorial in Phoenix, and so made arrangements right away to do that. And then I signed up with Turning Point. They had a specific link for me, and they did that for a number of the RNC people who had been, again, part of the Mount Vernon Project, but part of their group that had been going to Turning Point events. We have a great relationship. Now, fun fact, when Rana was the chairman, she had zero. In fact, she found Turning Point to be competitive with her. She thought they were on the other side, so she didn't want to have anything to do with them. And she just kept very clear. She was very jealous, I think, of their growth. And so she didn't want to convolute the donors, if you will. Now, since that time, then when Michael Whatley was placed in that position by Donald Trump, Michael Whatley was very friendly. He showed up at the Turning Point events. It was a completely different thing. And because the two groups teamed up, guess what happened in 2024? Yeah, that was because we worked together rather than apart. So it's a real simple concept. If you start working with the outside groups and you're friendly to them, good things happen.
And that's I don't believe Rona was ever for Trump, and that's why we saw no cooperation from the RNC, really. In my honest opinion,
I didn't see that. I think she was very friendly to him. I think she was just
friendly,
really jealous.
But she wasn't supportive.
Well, I don't know.
Friendly's different.
True. Fair enough.
I've met so many people like, they're my friend. They'll talk nice to me, and then they put that knife right in my back.
Yeah.
Just because they're friendly with you don't mean nothing.
I can't make that accusation because I never saw that. So, but
that was my impression of her.
Did know that she was not a big fan of Scott Pressler. She was not she completely ignored him. I mean, he said he was on at the time Twitter before it was X, and he was on Twitter and he was like every single day, contact me please. And she completely ignored him for months and months and months.
Huge reason we got Pennsylvania right there.
100%. And that and Cliff Maloney, who is another guy that I know, and Cliff Maloney did the Pennsylvania Chase or the PA Chase. He was instrumental. Those three men alone got the Amish, they got the young men, they got all of these new voters for these guys. And then you can add Barron into the mix because Barron told Dad, hey, dude, you should be doing TikTok and you should be doing all these podcasts.
That's true.
Barron
That is
was
true.
huge
Seriously,
about that.
God
Yes.
bless our favorite president for listening to the guys and getting their help because those guys helped. Anyway, so I'm looking at my notes here. It was a 5+ hour interesting event. I did send you some pictures, so we'll see if you want to put up a picture and I'll tell you
I'll
and
put this
describe.
one up.
Okay, this was actually a picture I took from where I was sitting. It was to give you perspective of where you were.
You had a very good seat.
We had very good seats. So I was seated near the RNC co-chair. So the new chairman of the RNC is a guy from Florida named Joe Gruters, but the co-chair is my dear friend, and I'm very close to her, and I'm hoping she's going to come to North Dakota. Little hint, hint. But she is the National Committee woman from Kentucky, and her name is Casey Crosby. She is a doll. She is a grassroots at heart girl, and she is amazing. She's very friendly to Turning Point as well. So she was there, and then and so we got these from Turning Point. It is a floor seat, and so we had this on. I had this lanyard on that said floor seat, and then I also saved something else. If you want to zoom in one more time, and I'll put it up so you can see it. We had these pins that we got. They got this amazing pin that said "In memory of Charlie Kirk."
Loving memory of Charlie Kirk. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I think I had it upside down, but that's what it looks like. Yeah, it's beautiful. Very, very cool stuff. Anyway, so the deal is before the day before, if you want to show another picture and I can describe stuff to you.
Yeah, I don't know if I got them in order, but here, I'll throw this one up.
Okay, good. This is what I wanted. So this is the day before. This is on Saturday, and I took this picture at Turning Point headquarters. You can see they've got the flag at half staff, and there were hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people there.
Man, they got a facility there.
Yeah, and my 3 girlfriends that you showed in that picture, the National Committee woman from Nebraska, the National Committee woman Laura Nakane Lua from Hawaii, who's my bestie, and then the other gal was the state party chair woman from Alaska, Carmela Warfield, and the 4 of us went to the location where they were, and we were right there at the building. Now, previously, I had been in Scottsdale for something else, and so I got a tour of Turning Point's facilities. You can see those 2 buildings there on the left and the right. If you look past them, there's 2 more buildings, and there are 2 more buildings past that.
Huge campus.
The campus is humongous. They have all of these different entities and all these different buildings and 1,000 employees across the states. So it is a huge operation from an 18-year-old's garage. I mean,
that's where he originally. Yeah, it was a donor that gave him that space, wasn't it?
Well, it was a guy that I can talk about too, because he was actually one of the people that really started things for him. It was formed in 2012 and 13 years ago by Charlie Kirk and his mentor, who was a guy named Bill Montgomery. And Bill Montgomery died in 2020. Yeah, Bill Montgomery passed away in 2020, but it was an amazing crowd, and it was very reverent, no funky stuff. I did buy this shirt that I'm wearing today there at this event on this day. Now, the next picture that you show hopefully is of the memorials that were all there. If you can find that one, there it is.
Yep.
And I took that picture.
I can be like Real Radio. Let's see clip number 2. No.
Exactly. And this was just it was sunset. The sun was in the background just setting, and there were hundreds and hundreds of these things all over the place. It was just an amazing thing. It was incredibly moving. All the people who were standing there, and there were people every single day, I am told, from the time that he passed away there and laying things down in his memory and trinkets and flowers. And so my girlfriends and I stopped at a store and we got flowers, and we laid the flowers there at Turning Point also. They were all singing. They were playing music, and people were singing Amazing Grace. And I was a puddle. I was an abject mess. It was amazing. Go ahead and show another picture, and I'll see if I can talk about it too.
Okay. How about I do this one, because we've seen how big it was in the stadium. Well, here, I tell you what, let's do this one. This is another one of the.
Yes. Okay. So we went past the line where everybody else was standing because Skylar Boyer was there. So we got to give him our condolences in person, and I got to hug him and tell him I was praying for him. And if you look really closely on the left, there is that kind of that bigger American flag, and right below it is a purple flower. Those are the flowers that I brought, and I put them in the front of the building where Charlie Kirk worked, and this building is the one where Tyler Boyer's office is too. So we went inside. Go ahead and flip to the next picture here. And just as you walk inside of this place is this amazing display. Okay, so this is when we went into the auditorium for the first time, and that's Laura from Hawaii in front of me, Laura Nakanelua, and she is walking down the stairs, and we're walking down toward the floor, and you can see just the scope of how full it was already. You can see a little bit of filling in left on the right and the left of the sides of the stage, but those did eventually fill in, and we got there about 9:30 in the morning local time. We left our hotel, which was 6 miles away from the venue, at 6:30 a.m. and we got into the building at 9:30 a.m. Wow. We all shoved into the back of the pickup truck. And we were sitting four abreast back there, and we drove for 2 hours, and then we walked for another 2.5 hours, and then we walked for another. Wow. So that was a long ordeal. I have never in my life seen traffic anything like what I saw.
Well, that's what they said. Oof. They said it was
that's high stress.
Even the people who live in that area, we got a guy that's retired that moved down there from this area. He's been going down there for years. He says it was crazy. He said I didn't even try. He said I got in there, but he said it was insane trying to get in and out of there.
We drove past the 101, which is a real main interstate there, and the 101 was literally bumper to bumper, stopped completely, no traffic moving for miles.
Wow.
It was crazy. And then what we did is our driver, who is this wonderful man named Joseph, who is our Uber driver, who was a veteran and a Marine, and he was driving us, and he took us back roads as best he could to avoid that. And we still took 3 hours to get to our venue. Oh. We got a drop-off place, and then we walked about a half a mile to get in and through all of the magnetometers, through the security and everything, pick up our credentials, and then get in there.
I imagine security, and I don't blame them. I imagine that was tight. Probably tight.
Yeah, well, and I was not impressed that they found a guy in the building in that morning, and that we had seen that. Yeah.
I heard about that. They got him, but what the heck?
That was kind of icky. And it was not.
So I'm gonna throw this one up. I know I have it on here.
Yep,
that's the wrong one.
No,
that's all right.
That's right. Yep. This is the one I was. That's the.
That
stadium.
is when we left. So after it was all done, I wanted to get a picture of the actual venue, and that is itself the State Farm Stadium in Phoenix, Arizona, on Sunday, September 21st. Yep. After everything had cleared out, and we were walking our way back, and at that point, I was taking my high heels off and walking with bare feet. So
don't blame
I had very dirty feet after that, but it was an amazing thing. So yep, that's our view where we were seated in the room, and it was just like a Turning Point event, only on steroids, with 70, 80. Well, somebody I read said 95,000 attendees in the stadium and overflow areas.
Yes, that's what I'd heard too.
So there were 2 different venues, and I think I probably included the other venue in some of the pictures.
I'll pull that up there. There's the other venue.
Yeah, so this was the second one, and this is where Steve Nagel was. He was in that other venue while we were in the main one. He was in the other one, and they were both just full to capacity. Millions watching via live stream. I was told that every single possible media outlet was carrying the feed of this event. So you guys were carrying it. Beck TV was carrying it. My Venue, all of the networks were carrying it. All the podcasters were carrying it. Anybody who had media credentials carried it live. And think about the scope of that.
Yeah, well, I think I heard on the Charlie Kirk show that 200 and some thousand, they figured individual different mobile type devices.
277,000 pings with their geocaching.
Yeah,
their
unreal.
Can you
fencing,
imagine?
yeah.
Unreal.
Yeah.
That's for those that don't understand that. That's huge. That's just really huge. That was just right there.
At one point before we got dropped off, and we were probably still a mile away from the venue, we were stopped in traffic. Obviously, it was start, stop, and it was a lot of stop. And we were seeing people walking from on the driver's side past, and they were walking toward the venue, and they had just parked miles down, and they just figured they were going to hoof it. Well, then at one point at about 8:30 in the morning, we saw people walking backwards on that road, and we're like, what's going on? So one of my girlfriends rolled down the window and yelled out there, and she's like, what's going on? What are you doing? And the person said, it's full.
Oh, wow.
8:30.
8:30.
Yeah.
Dang.
Well, I'll throw this one up, and I'm glad you sent me that one, because I said after I watched this thing, that was an amazing speech. I don't know how she did it other than through her faith. I don't know how you could find that strength.
I like the fact that she has that determined look on her face, and she has that determination. And I think they have unleashed some fresh hell that they don't even realize on themselves, because this girl is fierce. There's a reason that Charlie Kirk fell in love with this woman, and it is because she is determined, and she knows her Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and she also knows the gospel and knows she will get to see her husband in eternity in the arms of Jesus. So it was it was an amazing experience. I really cannot describe it to you other than to say that I went in knowing what Turning Point was all about and what it was going to be like, but nothing can really prepare you. I was not expecting it to be awe-inspiring and life-changing. And it was both.
You could see it. You could see it watching this. So like I said, I didn't get to watch it live, unfortunately, but I watched it when I got home. To watch that entire thing and to see how the transformation took place, I've never seen nothing like that.
Yeah.
You could tell that people were moved. People were,
I'm different.
They weren't mad. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. They were
celebrating.
You did not hear a boo. No. You did not hear any groaning. There were no fights. There were absolutely zero protesters anywhere.
That's what I heard. Think about that.
Zero.
No protesters at at a place where they supposedly always cheered that they hated him, but not a one showed up. Why is that? I mean, it doesn't stop them from showing up at everything else, but there was nobody there. That's amazing to me.
It really was. The whole thing was amazing. And then when we walked in and you showed that picture where we're walking down the stairs, the Christian artists were singing. Oh, my goodness, you guys. Brandon Lake and Chris Tomlin and Phil Wickham and Cody Carnes and Carrie Job Carnes. They were all singing together. They would take turns and they would sing a song. Did you get to see some of that too, Clay?
I've seen it all. And then he stopped singing and the entire arena picked it up. And I didn't see that, not like that. When I went to the one in Rapid City, same thing happened. There was some singers on this before Trump got in there, and to listen to that, I think they were doing "God Bless America." They quit singing, and then the whole arena sang. That was, the display of patriotism, and they also had another Christian band there. People don't see that behind the scenes stuff, but we got to see it all here, played out, and millions across the world seen it. I don't know how you couldn't have felt something there.
I was really struggling not to cry most of the time.
That picture right there,
I know.
I thought was pretty. That was pretty cool. That picture.
Yeah, one of my girlfriends knew the person who painted that too. So of course they did.
Of course they did. And I thought Trump did. You know what? I don't know how many comments I heard people say, "Oh, Trump went and did what Trump does." Trump did what Trump does, but not in a bad way. I thought he embraced it how Trump would. And then he gave a message, and it was a spot-on message. And then when she came out, that wasn't staged from what Andrew and them were saying on the Charlie Kirk show the next day. A lot of people thought it was. I don't know if you saw it, but when I watched that, she just needed somebody to to give her a hug.
Mhm.
I mean, seriously,
Yeah.
that's what that was about.
And I will tell you that I have seen our favorite president, Donald J. Trump, do that in situations where he goes after a tornado or a hurricane to
Yes.
people. And he is such a compassionate individual. I am amazed. I mean, because he doesn't have to be, but I think he has a really great, amazing heart for the people. And you can
I
see
do
it
too.
when he comforts people.
Absolutely. Well, and the things you don't hear about, I've read several of his books, and then you hear the people talk about him that know him. And I do know, if I've never met the man, I'd love to meet him someday, but I know people that actually do know him, and they go, you can't imagine the compassion he has and the things he'll do where he'll say, hey, I can help you out. And he gives them a job. Doesn't even know him. Just gives them a job to help them out. You don't hear about those things in the media ever.
No. And
Ever.
I'm in a position on the RNC where most every other state, because they're blue states and they need help, and so they get lots of rallies, and then all of the RNC people who are my contemporaries have all met him. I'm probably
That's
one of
awesome.
the only ones who hasn't, and that's okay, because it's like I say, I'm just not aggressive. But I will say that every single person who I've ever talked to, or I've heard Governor Kelly Armstrong talk about riding in the Beast with him, and he is super genuine. Every single
Yeah.
person says the same thing.
That's
it
all
cannot
I
be
hear
fake.
is that what you see is what he
Is
is.
what you get.
And I think that's why he is so popular. I don't know if in modern times, I grew up where Reagan was running when I was in kindergarten. So that gives you the time frame. But I don't think I have ever seen a president so popular with the people as a whole
Right.
than President Donald J. Trump. And I think it's bigger this time.
Yep.
The second time around. And God works in mysterious ways, the old cliche, but he does.
Doesn't he? I mean, think about it. Had he won in 2020, he wouldn't have been ready.
No, he learned so much, and now he is going full bore. He had 4 years to plan, which I figured. You got to realize when that happened, I had Jamie. Remember seeing it? Remember, I had a Trump 2024 shirt made up. I was wearing that long before anybody else. But I knew he'd run. It's just not in him to lose. Okay, right. And he
pissed him off. So he's like,
there's nothing like being a little pissed off to get the job done even better.
Don't you guys think that had he managed to squeak it out in 2020, we wouldn't even have near the cabinet that we have right now?
Agreed.
Look at the
100%.
Cabinet we have.
100%.
I agree.
Oh, it's like we talked about Rubio. Marco Rubio wouldn't have been what he is right now.
And look what Rubio's turned in. I always figured he's a little squishy, honestly. Boy, he's sure hammered. He has embraced the Trump agenda.
I'm a huge Marco Rubio fan now.
He gave the best profession of faith in 90 seconds I've ever heard in my life.
And get this. Did you catch the Charlie Kirk show the next day?
I think I might have.
They were talking about how that wasn't really in his speech. He just did that.
Off the top of his head, mind you.
Yes. So that's kind of amazing. And, I kind of laugh. Donald Trump Jr. He don't talk like that. And he did it. I mean, when you think about what we saw happen and witness there at that memorial, Charlie Kirk reached more people by essentially giving his life up for everything he believed in. And it's already going poof. I mean, it's huge.
Don't think I will ever see in my lifetime an entire cabinet profess their faith in Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior. I think that was historic, and I think this is our JFK moment. This is our literal turning point. This is our it is the turning point.
Yes, it is. I wore a t-shirt. Luckily I have my sweatshop down here that I run with our press and everything over here. So we were able to pound out shirts, and I made one right away so I could wear it that Wednesday. And
love it.
Now my kids have been wearing them. I've had more requests for them. Don't worry, Jamie. This didn't come off the G&T701 budget.
I'm not too concerned.
This came off of mine, and I've just been printing them up and giving them away because I want them to be worn.
I love that. So I don't know if you saw Lee Greenwood sing God Bless the USA live. That is a rarity. I've seen him do that 2 or 3 times is all. It's very, very rare.
And always at a Trump event.
Correct. So that was a special thing right there. When he sings it live, it's just a completely whole new experience. And then there was a guy, and I had to look it up to see who sang the national anthem. It was a guy named Steve Amerson, and he is one of Trump's favorite singers also, I am told.
He did a fantastic job too.
Oh yeah, it was incredible. The music really played a central role to everything. The transitions between the speakers, they would play Peace Like a River, It Is Well With My Soul. And that is my genre of Christian music right there. I'm a hymnal girl. I'm a hymnody person with the conservative stuff. And so I am telling you, I was a mess every time I heard the whole 70,000 people singing It Is Well With My Soul. And I was a puddle. It was unbelievable. I wrote down also the speakers because I went looking this afternoon to try to remind myself who all spoke. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 20. I have 23, and there's a 24th guy that I can't remember his name, but he also spoke. And he was speaking with the Turning Point people, and I think he was like the CFO, like the chief financial officer.
Oh, okay. Because there was a young guy up there that had, I imagine it was his
That's Mikey McCoy, and so I know who Mikey McCoy is. So so it was Frank Turk, who is first it was Pastor Rob McCoy, who was Charlie Kirk's personal pastor.
And my goodness, wow, that was
right. And then it was Frank Turk, who is Charlie's mentor. That was the guy who said, "I'm not necessarily his pastor, but I'm still pastor, but I'm his mentor." Then Dr. Ben Carson.
And I love Ben. I love Ben, but he's kind of boring to listen to. But he did a good job.
He's very soft spoken. That's just his style.
That's just him.
Don't dunk on him, man. And then
I'm not. I'd still tell him that he had a great speech. He did.
Yes,
he did.
And he's also going to probably be receiving a Medal of Freedom as well. I understand.
I would imagine. I can't imagine he wouldn't get one.
Benny Johnson, the chief creative officer since 2019. I love Benny Johnson. I've met Benny Johnson, which is super cool, at a Turning Point event.
You're making me jealous. I ain't met none of these people.
It's amazing. Representative Anna Paulina Luna, and she says Anna, so I am saying her name correctly. I'm really nerdy about that crap. And that actually, I don't know if did you know that she had started her career at a Turning Point? She started working for Charlie. So
I did not know that till
I didn't know that.
Heard it then.
Yeah, she was a Turning Point alumni person who ran for office. And then Larry Arnn, the president of Hillsdale.
Oh man, I love Hillsdale's awesome.
So great. Also, he said at the event that the school would set up a scholarship fund for Charlie Kirk's 2 children.
Oh, wow.
And give Charlie Kirk, who never graduated college, a posthumous honorary degree. And then you were talking about that young guy. That was Mikey McCoy, along with his wife, Elizabeth. And he is the guy who is the pastor, Rob McCoy. That's his son.
Oh, really?
So Mikey McCoy was Pastor Rob's son. And Charlie's chief of staff, do everything guy. He's the guy who is literally his right-hand man.
Yes.
And then Stacy Sheridan, and she's the senior advancement director. She was the older lady for Turning Point who got recruited from.
Oh, now we lost her this time. She's got to log back in. I don't know what she keeps hitting there. So, hey, I tell you, maybe it's a great time. Let's take another quick break, everybody, and hopefully we can get Lori back on. I don't know. This has been a great. I love this conversation. So, not where we were headed, but it's been a great conversation. Yeah. So, we'll do one quick commercial. I thank our main sponsor. We'll be right back.
LAUER Auto Repair, located Located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
All right, we'll come on back. We decided to take a quick break while we got you back.
Good plan. Good plan. If anybody knows about commercials, it's a girl who was on the radio for 42 years. So yeah.
Yes, yeah. And Lori's been around the block with television and radio. She's a pro, so don't worry about it.
So I was going through the list, and did you think Susie Wiles was going to speak? You know, she never speaks, right?
I did not, and she did, which I guess we probably should have expected it, but no, that was.
I was really surprised by that one.
It was nice. The lineup was amazing. It truly was.
Yeah.
You could tell that each one of them, some of them were out of their comfort zone, obviously, but that's how much they love Charlie. They had to do it.
Marco Rubio knocked it out of the park. He was one of my favorites. I thought Robert F. Kennedy, I mean, I'd heard a couple of his stories before, but that was amazing. Pete Hegseth has always been very open with his Christian faith. So
he did a great job too. I really enjoyed his too.
Secretary of War.
I love that. That's what we used to call it. I don't know if anyone realized it. That's what it used to be called.
Yeah. And then Tulsi Gabbard, I thought she sounded, the last two speeches I've heard her give sound presidential to me.
Don't they?
Tell me if I'm wrong. Am I wrong?
I actually thought Trump might have taken her as the VP before he got Vance, but
I think though he was
probably on the short list.
I'm sure, yeah. We have a hell of a lineup. We have a bench for the first time in years.
Think about that. I mean, look at all these people. They're phenomenal. And then Donald Trump Jr.'s impression of his dad was hysterical.
Oh, my God. Wasn't that funny?
Jeff and I have seen that before. He has done that before when he's at Turning Point events. He is also a very common Amfest guest. He's been there all 3 years, I think, and then he's just been terrific. So yeah, he's really good. And then Tucker Carlson, and what people need to know about Tucker Carlson is that he has a very nervous laugh when he goes that's his nervous laugh,
and kind of a dry sense of humor.
Yes,
but yeah, and when he
described Jesus of Nazareth, and then he talked about the parallels with Charlie Kirk. And I think some people were a little put off by that, but I totally got it.
He wasn't wrong, was it?
He wasn't wrong.
He wasn't wrong.
And then Stephen Miller had the hammer speach. He is the one who,
big fan.
He kind of brought the heat and just said,
didn't he?
"You are nothing." I'm like, okay, yeah, that was. You know what? It was exactly needed. I saw an article in the Washington Stand, which is the publication put out by FRC, Family Research Council, which is Tony, so lost his name. It's a religious group, the Family Research Council. Tony Perkins. Good. There we go. Anyway, he had an article and he said there were two different factions that were actually shown at this memorial. And I would agree with that. One of them was the Christian, and the other one was one was the gospel and one was kind of the law, kind of the hammer. And Stephen Miller was definitely in that latter group, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah. He's, like you said, the hammer. He did a good job.
Oh yeah.
Now, have you guys ever heard of Sergio Gore before? Did you ever?
I had, yep. Actually, when I seen him on the lineup, I was like, that's pretty cool. I didn't.
Yeah, he's honestly, cool.
I didn't expect to see him on there.
They were close friends. Charlie and he were close friends, and then
I didn't realize that till then, because they talked about it. Yeah.
Right. And then, of course, the Vice President of the United States, who we love, and we would like to see as our president in 2028. That's my hope.
I think he's got a hell of a chance.
Looking
really
good
He's
right
amazing.
now.
He's
for
amazing.
sure.
And then I forgive him from Erica Kirk.
Oh my goodness. I was just going to talk about that. Yeah. And I've gotten asked this because I've said the same. So I know when I was on with Leon, and I think that was Vance the other night. I don't remember. I know me and Leon, when we were in a different camp, kind of, but it's not my job. What do you want to say? I'm not going to judge him, the shooter, that is. I think we have to have man's punishment. We talked about this at church here on Sunday. I said, there's man's punishment, and I think this man has to face man's punishment, which is a judgment. But I go,
it was actually you and Todd talking about it, not you and Leon.
Well, I did it. No, I did it at church too. We did it. Yeah, we did it. Yeah, that's right. We did it on air, and I still believe that.
Who's Todd? Todd Mitchell and Clay's on Friday.
Yeah, there you go. Good plug, right? Mitchell in the morning.
I do Mitchell in the morning on Thursday morning, so I'll be on tomorrow morning.
Well, I listen every Thursday.
But I'm telling you right now, I'm not. I don't know if I could forgive this man. I know we're supposed to do that, but I'm not. It's not my job to judge him. After man is done judging him, and if it's a death penalty, he's going to get his judgment. And there is always the chance, because we can be forgiven, that he repents, and he can be forgiven, because all sin is equal in God's eyes.
Correct.
Plain and simple. And I know that's hard for some people to accept, but that is what the word says. So I don't know.
Well, I will tell you that when I spoke at Charlie Kirk's memorial that Jared put on, and he got several of us to help him put that on, and I spoke at that one in Bismarck.
And I apologize, I couldn't be there. I got invited. It was not in the cards that day.
The first thing that I did when I spoke is I repented of my sins, because that's what we do in my faith. And so you know what? I am a poor, miserable sinner, and I know it. And by the grace of God, he has washed all my sins away.
I fail every day, Lori. I fail every day. And that's what you got to do.
Yeah. Yeah. So after she spoke, then, of course, our favorite president spoke. And when he said, I still hate my enemies, I was like, dude, you know what's right. You know what's right. So he said, well, maybe Erica can help me. I'm like, yeah, maybe she can. So
maybe can, but honestly, that was so Trump.
It was so Trump. It was so him. But you know what I love about it? Because if anything you say about him, he is authentic. And that is what we are missing in all of this.
Absolutely.
We're missing authenticity. So I just wanted to go through the whole list and kind of relive the whole thing, because I was in awe and I was moved. And I will amazing. Tell you, I came out bolder, more courageous, and walked around with my shirt on and my RNC red jacket on, and I didn't give a flying leap what anybody thought about it after that, and I'm still in that mode. I think something changed, and
something big changed in this country.
And I think even myself, and I was a pretty bold girl before, but man, look out. So I was at the airport, and I'm standing there, and I've got my logo on my shoulder that has the RNC logo and my name, and it says Team GOP on there, and I didn't even give a crap if anybody saw it. I was like, I don't care. I'm going to see all you people. Either you like me or you don't, whatever. I do not care. I do not care. So I'm standing in line at the TSA pre-check line, and this guy looks at me, goes, I like your jacket. And I'm like, and I'm like, thank you. I said, were you there? He goes, yeah, I was there. And then we had a third guy who was there, a younger guy. And I said, where are you from? And he goes, Sweden. You're flying back to Sweden?
Dang.
Yeah, I flew here from Sweden for this memorial, and I'm flying back to Sweden.
But this went way beyond Christians, conservatives, United States. This went worldwide. Did you see London?
I know.
London. Think about it. London's not exactly
right.
And London streets, and I remember the media is like thousands gathered. No, I don't. Millions. If you looked at how far that went,
it sure looked like.
When you compare it to the big ones that have been in DC, which you've been to DC, I've been to DC. When they fill them all and it goes beyond. That was millions, people.
Yeah.
Just if you've never seen that, I don't know how to describe it, but that comparison to DC and the mall and all of that, it's millions. It is millions. Yeah.
I got very emotional when the whole entire stadium was singing "Holy Are You, Lord God Almighty." That song I knew, and I have never experienced anything like that in my life, nor will I ever again. I'm certain.
What we seen there, that was that's why when I watched it with my boys, I said, you guys are witnessing history right here.
Yeah.
You truly are.
It was kind of crazy.
And JFK, even nothing compares to that as what we saw this weekend. It really doesn't.
Yeah. It was amazing. Do you want me to do show and tell really quick here?
Absolutely. You're on. I told you you'd be here longer.
You're all right. Let me just say, you're right. Okay, you were
I'm
right.
not always right.
Okay, so
Lori
if you
texted
saw,
me, she goes,
hey,
really?
I've got a couple more pictures that I think I gave you. You want to go through a couple more pictures, and I'll talk about those, and then I'll show you some show and tell.
Well, you gave me this one. I think I got them all.
Okay, this is showing where I was seated. So that little arrow on the top there shows where I was on the floor. In the front, you see those darker seats up there? Those are nicer chairs, and those were like where all of the secretaries of everything and all of the VIPs were. And we were just behind the VIPs there. So we had an amazing view.
You had really good seats.
Yeah, we did. They Turning Point has been very good to the RNC people whom they have befriended, and we love them at Turning Point, and they love us, and they are always very, very kind to us. One more picture should be of let's see, what was the other one that I have? Did I have a picture of the four of us in the vehicle when we were riding to the
no, if you sent it, I did not get that one.
Okay, that was pretty hilarious. We're all squished in the back of the car like sardines. Okay, so this is and I think I thought I had given you a picture of what the posters were like on the crowd, and it's hard to see unless it's close up, but this was the poster that I had on my seat, and I brought it home with me on the airplane, and it says, "Here I am, Lord, send me," Isaiah 6:8. Yep. So I brought that home with me.
And if anyone's wondering, that was when they did the red, white, and blue in the stand.
Yes.
And from what I understand, that was pretty organic.
Red, white, and it was actually black. It was red, white, and black.
Okay.
But that was so organic too.
I know,
that
they just did it.
Happened. Yep. And I looked around, and it was dead silent at the time, and
I know.
I couldn't even. Yeah, it was really moving. This was the other one that we had that said it's a little really shiny.
Nice. Yeah. Was that one of the ones you were talking about was on the tripod?
No, I'm going to show you the tripod ones here. I'm going to turn that light off so it's not as shiny on there. There you can see
these are really amazing because
okay. So they had, as we were walking out, out of the venue, they had these poster boards, and they were mounted on tripods. And my amazing RNC girlfriends said to the Turning Point people, "Hey, could we take some of these?" And so they let us have 3, I think. Fanshawn's got one, and then Laura took one, and then they brought another one for me. And then Laura, who is flying back to Hawaii, is like, "How am I going to get this on the plane?" And I said, well, I actually got bumped up, so I had the opportunity to sit first class, which is kind of a rarity, but kind of cool. And I thought, okay, well, maybe I can just take it to the front, and maybe I could send it back to myself, or maybe I can try to figure out, put it by my knees or something like that. Well, fun fact, if you're in first class, this is a little pro tip. You can use the place where they hang the clothes. They have a little first class closet where people can bring hanging clothes and put them in there. And so this is what I brought back.
Yeah, that's just, look at this, guys.
Awesome.
I don't think you're going to see that too many places. Yep. And I don't know if you heard the story about him, how he taught himself to get better at flipping the hats because he was so poor at it at first when he started doing it.
Wow, so, really? He was an athlete. He was a basketball player. He was a good basketball player.
They were telling the story on the actual Charlie Kirk show. Oh, we lost her again. Just a second. We'll bring her back. We'll bring her back.
This is the last one, and this one is the one that gets you in the feels. It was about killing me being on the airplane. I was trying not to cry the whole trip back because I was carrying this with me. But this is the one.
Yeah, this one here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I think that kind of summarizes it, don't it?
Yeah.
There was definitely a genuine love for each other there. between those two people and their love for Christ. I mean,
Keep it
I don't know if
together.
we've ever seen it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was obvious that they adored each other. If you've ever seen the video of how they go back and forth talking about how they met, or if you've seen them
That's a
when they
great
first
video.
did the podcast together, and they just cannot keep their eyes off each other, and you can just see
It was
how connected was absolutely an amazing love story.
If I'd have known, I might have been like, man, you definitely married up.
Yeah, no joke. No kidding. Yeah, that's all true. I'm a pretty lucky lady that I married a man who would go with me to Turning Point events. And then what we did was, we're backwards in my family. It's the old people who introduced the young people to it in our house. But our kids have all three of our boys, who are all in their mid to late 20s, they all three have been with us to Turning Point events at one time or another, so that they could experience the amazing stuff that we experienced there. Student action summits are another thing that they do, and they also do Turning Point Faith. I would highly recommend, if anybody's ever interested in supporting something at Turning Point, go for the Mount Vernon project. But think about how tangible your gifts go to actually changing the leadership. It's huge.
So Matt Simon, he says Isaiah 6:8 is right up there with Nehemiah 6:9. Their hands shall be weakened from the work, that it be not be done. Now, therefore, oh God, strengthen my hands, as one of my favorite verses of courage. Absolutely, Matthew. And I've actually heard that one repeated many times since this. There's been so many.
I think I have a Bible verse on the back of my shirt too that I got. I don't know. Can you see this?
It says, yes, God works for the good of those who love him. I cannot see the rest of it. And who
have been called according to his purpose.
I think it's Romans.
Romans, yeah.
Yeah. That was on the shirt that I.
Oh, it's got to be on a timer, don't it? I think it's on a timer, Lori. I think it's.
And then it's going and it's like disappear again. There she goes. Sorry, guys.
I feel like we keep resurrecting you.
Yeah. Here I go. Yeah. Sorry.
So,
what you don't know is I'm just adjusting my makeup every time that I'm gone. And
that's what's going on.
Gotcha.
No, it's been a pleasure to be on with you guys. And you were right. It's a full 2 hours, and I'm not.
It goes fast. It's easy.
This has been a great show. It's been a fun show, and I love sharing this show with Patriots when we do it. I know Jamie didn't get to talk much, which that's not usual. But
what's the matter? It's me.
Hey, I'm just taking it in. I'll be on with Todd Friday. I got plenty of talking to do.
I'm telling you, it was an incredible experience to be in the room. It was an incredible experience to be in the car watching all the vehicles and the hundreds of thousands of people coming in. And there was no vitriol. It was peaceful. It was loving. You could tell the Holy Spirit was in the room. You could literally palpably feel the love and the joy of these people, knowing that the person that they admired so greatly is in the arms of his Savior now. I mean, it was a beautiful thing. And I won't ever forget it. I know I won't ever forget it. It was a trick to kind of get there in really short time, but I was happy to be there with some of my colleagues. So
I will put this up here. I just had this sent to me. Evidently, this is in Mandan on the Strip now.
Yep. Oh, absolutely. It's on the East End for sure.
I didn't know that, but that's awesome to see.
Love that. That makes my heart so happy.
There you go. The hockey guy is on with Daryl on Monday's got a free plug.
He does, don't he? Yes, he does.
Coffee.
But
is that Brad Feldman's?
Yeah, Brad Feldman. There you go.
I do know that there's one up outside of Valley City. A friend of mine who was here this weekend, he told me that he saw it, and I think it's, if I remember right, Lori, isn't that in our chat too on Telegram? Seemed like someone had that in there. So
I will say too that the whole time that I was in Scottsdale and in Glendale and in Litchfield, and we went to a restaurant at what was called the Wigwam, and every single place that we went. Well, this is interesting too, because our RNC crew included the National Committee man from Nevada who was there, and he and his wife were there. And then the National Committee man from Massachusetts was with us there at the event, but not later for dinner. Right. And so we were with our crew of 6 people. So the 4 of us women, and then the Nevada and his wife, National Committee man. when we went to dinner, we always, when we're together, we hold hands and we pray. And so we prayed before our meal. And after we were done with our meal, a man walks up, he goes, wow, you guys, I mean, it's so wonderful to see people actually doing that in public. And we're like, well, we do that.
I do it. I should do it all the time. Sometimes I just get in a hurry, but it's amazing to see the different reactions when you do it.
My family and I pray
Yep.
publicly. We do. We always have with the kids, and we still do in restaurants and wherever we are. I think that hopefully we're going to see more of that now.
I already have. I was traveling, last weekend, and I can tell you right now, I saw it. I was like, wow, I don't think I've ever seen that as many times as I've seen it just in the last week. So I'm glad to see it. I really am.
When we were in Scottsdale and we were there and we met some of those younger TPUSA girls like Charlotte that I was talking about, and Malia and their friend Hannah, we had a server come up to the table, and she was a younger gal, and she said, I'm from Venezuela. I will be serving you. She goes, are you guys going to the memorial tomorrow? And we said, yes. She goes, I really want to go, but I don't think I can ask off work. And she said, you know what? I pulled out my Bible and I read it for the first time in years.
Wow.
I can't tell you how many different things like that happened over just 3 days, but it was one after another. The guys at the airport, on the airplane, when I was in Minneapolis flying to Phoenix, I had a little stop over there, but I got on the plane and there was a guy who came up the aisle, and I was sitting on the right hand side, and he comes up and he's got a MAGA hat on, and he looked at me and he saw my red jacket, and I looked at him and I went, and then he does this. like we were in the secret morning Charlie club. And we weren't going to make a big deal out of it, either one of us, but we knew. And then there was another young kid, and he had this shirt on, the one that you're actually wearing, and he was walking out and he looked distraught. And he was a younger fella, and he was walking down the aisle, and people literally stopped him and they said, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I mean, it was really,
it's amazing.
It was. The whole thing was amazing.
I'm not going to give the gentleman's name, but he actually lives in Mandan up there, and he's been struggling, I think. I did not know this till he called me. I mean, I know him, right? But I hadn't talked. He wanted to go get back to church, and he was trying to figure out where to go. So I gave him some options, and I think he went. And he's been communicating. And actually, next time I get to Bismarck, which I got to get up there next week, Jamie, so I'll be seeing you. But I'm going to try and meet with him and have coffee, because I think he needs that. And his wife was Catholic, but they want to leave. The way it sounds, she don't want to go there. She wants to leave the church. So, I mean, why? I was shocked that I got the message. He had seen our show, and he goes, I just thought you were the guy to reach out to, and I have your number. I mean, that's the things, and that's just me. How many people are experiencing that? Yeah. So,
wow. It's an amazing thing. I think that we have seen a definite change. And I pray that it continues. And I pray that people continue to be bold with their faith and step out of their comfort zone and run for office. And I think that it's really ignited a fire. A little spark like this has actually ignited an amazing fire because of one incredible human being, and he really was.
He was, and like I had one guy tell me, he goes, he says, we might have just seen a living, walking prophet, and we didn't know about it. And there's some truth to that now, I think.
So he passed away on Wednesday the 10th, and on the 12th, I was teaching my Lutheran yoga class, because it is not regular Om yoga, it's Lutheran yoga. Okay. So just FYI, this is Namaste in the weirdness. And for me, it's prayer position. There you go. Anyway, so I teach this fitness class for Bismarck Parks and Recreation. I've been teaching for 36 years, and I had a woman come up to me afterwards, and I said at the end of class, I said, I'm very proud of myself for getting through this entire class, because Charlie Kirk, my friend, was killed 2 days ago. And afterwards, a woman comes up to me and she said, he was a martyr. He might even be a saint. And I thought, that was the first time I heard that. It was 2 days after he died, and one woman said that to me already. I didn't even know her.
Yeah, I've actually heard it several times, and I've heard people say it. I mean, I knew who they were, but I heard it in conversation. Like, wow, I didn't think of it like that at first, but I guess you know what? I don't know.
Jamie, can you talk to the fact that some people are saying that this is one of those situations where things might get really ugly? Do you think that there is going to be a backlash from this at all? Because I just haven't seen any of that.
I mean, like what are you saying from I mean, I don't think the left's going to step back their hate and their violence. I don't think that's going to step back, honestly.
But don't you think that they have finally literally overshot the target? I mean, have they gone too far?
Yes, I agree with that. I thought that, and I mean the support behind Charlie, and like you said, the event you were at. I mean, that pretty much proves it right there that they did, right? And I mean, it backfired. I hate, politically, it definitely backfired on what the guy tried to accomplish, Robinson, there in Utah. I mean, it's unfortunate that a great human being like Charlie was sacrificed for this, but it definitely backfired on what he was trying to do.
Yeah, and his legacy was such that he literally said, "I want to be remembered for my faith." Well, with hopes granted, he definitely
and for sure he is with that. I mean, among lots of other things. I mean, he was just a great human being, and it's a crying shame that he's gone from the face of the earth. But he's in a better place now, and his legacy is definitely, like you said, it is growing for sure. I mean, I knew young people, and my daughters included, Lori and Clay. I didn't even know my daughter knew who Charlie Kirk was. And I came home and they're like, "Dad, they killed Charlie Kirk." And I said, "I didn't even know you knew Charlie Kirk." And,
wow.
"Oh, yeah, I do. I watch it all the time." And it's...
Well, he like Trump embraced TikTok. I am not a big TikTok person. I'm not TikTok at all.
Yeah, my oldest is definitely
used that.
TikTok.
Yeah, and he leveraged that and used it. So many young people did know that. Like I said, it's kind of backwards that I introduced my kids to it rather than them to me. But but weird for an old lady. But I tell you what, I am proud to have known him. I am proud to have supported him. My husband and I donate to Turning Point, and we continue to do that because we saw things happen with our donations and with our money. And so it's really easy to donate to something if you feel like the people are going to be responsible. They're going to put the money literally to boots on the ground and people on the ground and doing the things. So we will continue to support them. Jeff and I have already got plans to go to AmFest. It is held, FYI, this is kind of a deterrent to some people, but it is the week before Christmas every year.
Yes, all the time. Yep.
And people are like, why would they do that? Well, think about it. That's when the kids are out of school.
Which makes sense, don't it now?
Makes perfect sense. And the kids at Turning Point events get front and center up the closest. That's where they should be.
Well, that's who his target demographic was, but it has went so far beyond that now.
Yeah,
absolutely. So, well, anything you want to leave us with, Lori?
Hey, you didn't answer Leon's question. What's next for you when you step down?
What's next?
I have no aspirations, y'all. I didn't aspire to be National Committeewoman until a couple of my close confidant friends, and I can name them if you want. You want to know who?
By all means.
Jared Hendricks, who you mentioned.
Yeah, we know Jared. Yep.
And Andrea Tolman are two of my very favorite humans. And
I know Andrea from District 35.
They both suggested to me that I should run for National Committeewoman, and so I'm glad that I took their suggestion. And so sometimes, just FYI for those people viewing this and listening, if someone says to you and suggests to you that maybe you should consider running for something, listen to them. That is a call, and that is a seed that has been planted, and God waters it and makes it grow. So I was on a plane and I was talking to a veteran on my way to actually from Minneapolis to Phoenix, and he was an amazing man from Washington State, which is very blue state, and he was talking about his service and how he had done that. And he knew every possible, like, nerd political guy, like knew everything. And I looked at him and I'm like, dude, you really should consider running for office. They could use you in Washington. And he just looked at me like I was an insane lady. And I said, no, really, you have exactly what it takes. You are articulate. You have already served your company. He goes, that's why I'm not going to run. I've already served. But seriously, he's exactly.
Well, I think you've done your part, whether you do anything or not. I mean, you've more than done your part, and you've done a great job at doing it, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely. I like I said, I called you the very first time, and yep, you had my vote, and you've had it ever since. So
you guys are so kind. I do love, sir. That's my knee, by the way. Sorry, it looks really weird, but I do look. I did that one other time. People were like, "Oh, what was that?" So
I didn't
even. I do love going around the state. My husband wasn't 100% on board with me running when I first ran in 2020 until he saw how hard I worked for it after the COVID thing happened. And then I made all the phone calls and called all 1,000 delegates on the phone. And then I went all over the state, got to 43 out of the 47 districts in the tiny little 3 months that I could do it. But you know what? That was such a great thing. And so I've continued, and I pledged at the time to continue to go around the state. And I do to the various districts. When you have a meeting and when I'm invited, I try to go. And because of that, I think truly you should know who your national committee person is representing you on the RNC. I believe that with all my heart. And so I've done my best to stir the pot, if you will. I went around with the story. This is what my husband sees me at RNC meetings, and he's doing in the back of the rooms. Like, there she is stirring the pot again. There she is stirring the pot.
I didn't know what a national committee woman was till I talked to you.
And I'm so proud of that, Clay. That makes me happy.
It just, and then of course now I tell people, and that's after all this, I was like, we should have Lori.
So you definitely got to do, Lori. I know what you can do for sure. That you got to keep doing when you step down is keep going on with Todd on Thursdays.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a good idea. I like that. Do that.
Yeah. I mean, you got so much political insight and good stuff to say. I'm just not saying that because you're on, but I enjoy listening when you're on with Todd show. Even when you guys get off politics, you got into the radio thing that day.
Do you remember that? That was so weird, wasn't it? That was radio, old timer radio stories. That was kind of crazy.
I mean, you can go down some trails with Todd when you're on with him. Clay and I are both aware of that, which is fine.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of you guys. Thank you for that. Yes. I don't, like I say, I'm not an aspirational person. I don't have my sights set on stuff. I've been accused by some of the people in my own party, like, you're going to run for this. I'm like, no, I'm not. So until somebody suggests to me that I really respect, and somebody like God gives me some sort of a signal that, yeah, you should do something else, I do not have aspirations, mostly because I've seen people who do. And I don't want to be somebody who makes that an idol. My one true allegiance is to God Almighty, and that's it. It is not to politics or a position. I serve Him and Him alone.
Yes, that's how. If more of them did that, we wouldn't be where we're at. And you're right. When they aspire, and that's their whole thing. I don't know about you, Lori, but it seems like then they sell out for different reasons. For money, for whatever it might be, the right connection, so they can win.
Oh, I've seen enough people in the RNC and elsewhere who make that position an idol, and it's very easy to slip into that. And I've done my best to fight that with every fiber of my being. And remember, eyes on the cross, and the other stuff doesn't matter. So eyes on the cross, and then the rest.
Everything I've ever held, as far as an office or a board, I never went looking for it.
Right.
And some I did them, some I didn't. I took, I've always taken to one of them. I've been asked to do the church because I feel that's something I should do. But yeah, I don't go looking for them. Trust me, I'd rather be out hunting with Jamie more.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you.
Hey, this is a great show. Everybody, before we sign off here, Friday morning, Jamie's going to be filling in with Guns in the 701 Nation.
Yep.
And him and Todd, they're going to, I'm sure, have a great show.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Going to be, got some good wild animal stories, some hog hunting, some second. Yeah. And Kash Patel kind of let us down a little bit this week with some of his comments. We're going to hit on that Friday. And probably get Happy Ending Chronicle in there with Todd.
And I'm telling you right now, everybody, go check out what Megan Kelly said during the Turning Point thing about guns and assault weapons. I don't think you're going to be happy. I was actually kind of shocked.
She gave us a little boot between the rear ends.
So go watch that one.
Come on, Megan.
Yeah. So anyway, if you want to go watch that, she just doesn't understand the Second Amendment like we do. I'm pretty sure.
Well, some people don't. It's I was actually just thinking lately when I've been listening to her podcast that she's actually getting more right wing after she left Fox, but maybe not.
I don't think she's off the reservation, but just go watch it. I'll let everybody judge for themselves. Go make sure you watch that. It'll be everywhere. I'm pretty sure.
I'll check it out.
And of course, Leon will be on with Blackbeard Logic. That's 5 o'clock.
Episode 3.
What's that?
Episode 3.
Episode 3. Yeah, at 5 o'clock
Friday,
6 Central. So in the evening, and go check that out. And starting in October, we're going to go to an every other. So you're doing next Wednesday, right?
Next Wednesday.
So every other,
episode 32,
Wednesday.
Bringing Back 701 Nation.
Yep.
I'm actually having on our man Boom Country Hydrographics from Dickinson. We're going to tell us what he does out there and talking some Second Amendment, some gun stuff, long range shooting, and a term he told me I didn't know, SLR, super long range shooting, which we're going to find out what that is. And I got another couple things coming. There's some new ammo out. Your carbine there, your 308. You think that's too slow? You might want to be rethinking that. So 8
and then
p.m. Central,
starting the first Sunday in October, Vance Bishop, he's going to be starting. We'll have a time for you. He's got to get a time hammered in there. It's a kind of a sportsman show, but based on Christianity. So we're going to have that starting on Sunday morning. So we got big things happening here. And like Todd said, we're now the Guns and 701 Network.
Yeah, we're talking about Todd. We're he said you guys are going to have the 701, the Guns and 701 Network. We're trying.
Speaking of things that was never on my radar, Lori, this was not ever on my radar.
Doing a podcast was not on your bingo card? Really?
Nope.
No, me either. No.
All because I filled in and I had him come on and Jamie and
filled in for Mayor Bach in there.
Well, that's how it begins, and then you get a giant sucking sound, and then you get sucked into the vortex, and there you are. Yeah, so
we've been able to avoid
this time wasn't Mexico with that sucking sound, no.
Guys, I appreciate it, Lori. Thank you so much for
coming
on.
My pleasure, guys.
Thanks, Lori.
So
we'd love to have you on again.
On.
So hopefully you'll join us again. Maybe we can talk hunting and shooting then.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining in. We had a great show. I've been watching the ticker, and I got to watch the numbers. That's me. I'm a numbers guy. So
yeah.
I was watching them. Things were doing great.
Yeah, YouTube was doing pretty good too tonight. Actually, I checked it out a few times.
And so far we haven't been slapped.
I don't think I've disappeared for half an hour here either.
No, so what's going on here, man? Where's this timer?
It happens. All right, everybody. Again, thank you. Tune in on Friday. Thank you, Lori. And Matthew Simon, our prestigious chair at NDGOP, was listening in. We had Josie on there. So we had everybody. We had the who's who. So we appreciate everybody tuning in. All right, everybody. Have a great rest of the week. And may God bless each and every one of you. Keep your powder.